Hi guys, it's Dave here, aka King and Russ, back with another video. Today we're going to be looking at my first impressions of No Man's Sky. Obviously this is probably one of the most hyped games of the year, probably up there with the likes of Uncharted in terms of actual anticipation for the game coming out. I've left it till just short of a week to post the first impressions video itself. I've been trying to get in as many hours as humanly possible. I'm sure those who've played the game already will also contest that it's not the sort of game that you could put a review out after playing 2 or 3 hours. You really need to put some time into the game itself in order for you to have a rough idea of the mechanics of the game, how the game runs, and also sort of like what objectives and things like that you would have to sort of complete during the course of your playthrough. The game itself, I've heard some people criticise the way the game looks. Personally, I think the game looks absolutely fantastic. I think the worlds are colourful. There's some very interesting wildlife and foliage as you sort of travel through the different worlds, all the different environments, and the weather systems as well that you come across during your travels. So I've got no qualms whatsoever with the way that the game looks. I think the game does look very, very sort of charming in its own way. The game has been also getting some criticism. I have seen quite a few reviews where people are basically just absolutely shitting on the game. I must admit, some of these reviews I have watched, they've admitted to themselves that they've only put an hour or two in and then basically went, fuck it, this is too much hard graft, I'm doing one and I want to go back to fucking playing Call of Duty, which is fair enough. It's not everybody has 5-6 hours in an evening to sort of spend trolling around a fucking alien planet trying to resource life forms and fucking jetpacks and all that bollocks so you can go and travel off to further far-flung worlds. Thankfully I have managed to get some decent sessions in over the week, mixing up between this and me normal sort of Battlefield routine, and I must admit I'm actually having quite a bit of fun with the game. One of the things that sort of like struck us, to be honest, which I was quite surprised at, was it's very relaxing. So it's not particularly intense. Sort of like as you're traveling around the world, picking up your resources, building the various different sort of like rockets and as I say, jetpacks and that sort of stuff. It's quite nice just to sort of stroll around. It's ideal if you're hungover. I must admit I was pretty hungover on Sunday, and the thought of explosions and guns and all of that sort of crap wasn't particularly appealing, so I really did want something where I could just sort of chill out. And it's sort of, in that instance, reminds us of Minecraft. It's something that you can sort of like just plod through and just sort of enjoy it for what it is. I was playing a little bit of music in the background, so I wasn't necessarily listening to the game itself. I still had the effects and stuff on and things like that, but it was just a very pleasant experience just to sort of turn on for a couple of hours and zone out and just sort of like try to complete the odd objective as I went along. The game, obviously, it was never going to be what people were hoping it was going to be, or what people's expectations were for what the game was going to be. I think even the developers themselves, to be fair, I mean, they did try to sort of like stifle a little bit of the excitement. It certainly could have done with some multiplayer elements. Whether this is something that they bring in the future, I'm not too sure. I think quite a lot of people will be calling out for an online feature to come into it where you can maybe travel around with your friends. Something like that would have been absolutely fantastic, and I think a lot more people would be on board to play the game, and a lot more invested as well in regards to sort of collecting your resources and things like that. If you could sort of pool your resources together, have a couple of spaceships, fly around all the various planets in the game, then as I say, I think that would have been great fun. Little dogfights as well, just outside the planets. It would have been what we wanted from Star Wars, which unfortunately DICE as well were unable to provide us with. So in that instance, yeah, again, it was a little bit of a disappointment, but we knew what it was going to be before the game came out. So unless you've lived under a fucking rock for the last sort of like 2 years, then to be fair, you know, you would know from the beginning that it wasn't going to be a massive multiplayer, hundreds of people on the server flying around, going to different planets, blowing each other up sort of affair. So yes, that doesn't really, again, it's something that I would like to see come in the future. But when the game launched, it wasn't something that I was expecting to be in there, so I wasn't particularly disappointed to find out that that wasn't the case. One of the things as well that I have seen people also have a bit of a gripe with, and I totally agree, is the crafting system. It's a little bit clunky, it's not very intuitive. It took us ages. I had resources to build things, and I was thinking, why the hell can't I just build the item that I need to sort of like progress in the game? And it wasn't until later on I sort of like seen the icons, you know, if you press here, you move into another sort of like section of your crafting menu, and you can build things from there. So there could definitely be a little bit more of a tutelage in regards to people jumping into the game first time and sort of finding the feet and trying to get sort of like a grip of the early objectives. Because once you've got the early objectives out of the way and you've got your spacecraft and you can fly around and do all the sort of jumps to different planets and different worlds, then it's obviously a different game. The first sort of 6 hours I walked around on the same planet that I was on from the beginning, and again I got a lot of resources from it, done a few of the objectives, but it was that thing of like, can I just please leave this planet and go and visit some other planets? I know there's plenty out there to see, and after 6 hours I was ready to go out and venture. I know a lot of people have done it a lot quicker than that, and fair play to you. If you've got off the island within like fucking an hour, 2 hours, then you know all the better for it. But but yeah, I didn't have any experience, as I say. I did, as I said, I did do a lot of discovering and walking around and just getting a feel for the mechanics and the planets themselves. I was quite fortunate. The planet that I did sort of spawn in on was quite rich in regards to resources. None of the animals on the planet were threatening, so I could just sort of like walk around, sort of like be amongst them, a bit like an intergalactic Tarzan of sorts. Yeah, a little bit like that. But yeah, so that was fun. Again, like always, just rambling on. So yeah, the crafting was a little bit frustrating, but I did get to grips with that eventually. And I think just overall, it's if you go into the game knowing what it is that you're getting yourself into, if you sort of think of it going to be like a Minecraft-esque experience, then I don't think you are going to be particularly disappointed with the game. I think if you go into it and you're expecting sort of like Call of Duty or Battlefield in space, then yeah, obviously that's not going to be the case. That's not what the game is about. It's about exploration. It's about doing the odd little sort of finding clues and putting together little puzzles to sort of navigate around different worlds and to find sort of like stranded ships and things like that. If you're going into it with that sort of mentality and you know that it is just going to be sort of like a lot of grinding, a lot of doing the same thing over and over again, then I think you will get something out of the game. I think you will enjoy it. It is what it is. I don't really know what else to say. You know, there's a lot of other videos out there. I'm sure there's a lot more videos out there that are a million times better than mine and explain things in a much better, more detailed, roundabout way. But just as a quick sort of first impressions, I'm quite enjoying the game. I don't think it's going to be something that I'm going to be playing 24/7 every single day, and it takes over from the usual type of games that I play. But it is certainly something that I can see myself coming back to over and over again, like I did a little bit with Minecraft, in regards to just I just want to chill out. I don't really want to do anything too, you know what I mean, too fucking wild in terms of like pure explosions and all that sort of stuff. I just want to sort of put some music on the background, couple of hours, walk around, build some shit, fly to some planets, and have a good time. So yeah, guys, as I say, that is my first impressions of No Man's Sky. Probably this video's gone on a lot longer than it should have done, and I've rambled the hell out of it as I always do. But as I say, guys, I just take these one take as I go, and I like to talk a lot of shit. So there you go. Anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed the video, drop us a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Battlefield 1, I've banged on about it, I think, for the last 5 or 6 videos. Hopefully we should get some news at Gamescom this week about a open beta. Once that comes out, then I think I want to start doing the whole Twitch thing and sort of like starting the channel off with that particular game itself. Still got a few more of the World War II games I was talking about that I want to try to get up on the channel as well. But I'm just going to be honest with you, I'm a bit of a lazy arse. I come in from work and I want to play games. I don't want to spend all my time fucking talking about games and editing games and looking at a blank screen when I can be cracking on and playing the games themselves. So I do apologise if the videos don't come out on a regular basis, and when they do come out, they're a little bit sort of like pieced together a little bit randomly. That's just the way I roll. It is just the way I roll. Literally roll. You know, I'm a big lad. Big lads tend to roll. But yeah. Anyway, guys, on that bombshell, I will leave you to it. Enjoy the rest of the evenings. And yeah, just get yourself on the game. Have a little look around. Have a play about. Spend, you know, a relatively decent amount of time on it. And then make your decision. If you like it, fantastic. If you don't, you can always trade it in. I'm sure the trading in price at the moment is pretty good. And there's plenty of games out there that you can be buying to keep yourselves busy until another game comes out that you really want.
No free slots in ship inventory.